Hi there, this is Liz, and now we're going to look at some more homeostasis, specifically how homeostasis works. So in our body we have control systems, and these use both nervous and chemical responses. And these control systems are made up of three parts. So we have coordination centers, which receive and process information which arrives from receptor cells. So these receptor cells will detect the changes. We also have effectors, which are muscles or glands, and these carry out the responses to stimuli, which are events or things that help restore optimal levels. And again, the receptors, these detect the changes in the external environment. For homeostasis to happen, our body's control systems are made up of the three parts which I just mentioned. So one, we've got receptors, and then we've also got the coordination center and then the effector. So the receptor cells are detecting the changes in the environment. And so in this control system, we have something called a negative feedback loop. So what this is when our internal conditions are optimal, the body does not need to change or respond. But if an internal condition changes and it is no longer optimal, this stimulus is detected and the body works to counteract, which means reverse, the change and return the conditions to the optimum. And this process is called negative feedback, and it needs all the components of the nervous system to work together. So how this loop works is, so an internal condition changes. This change is detected, the corrective mechanisms are activated, the internal conditions return to normal, and then the corrective mechanisms are deactivated, and that's the end of that cycle, and then a condition change again, and then the loop continues. So I've got a question here for you. Which of the following does not explain why we sweat more in hot countries? So the options are homeostasis, hyperopia, or thermoregulation. And so the answer is hyperopia. So we've talked about negative feedback. So what is positive feedback? Positive feedback is the opposite of negative feedback. It makes a small change even bigger. An example of positive feedback in the body is the release of oxytocin, which is a hormone which is related to happiness, which increases the number of contractions during childbirth. So how that would work is, because during childbirth you want to have lots of contractions to be able to push out the baby. So the hormone makes you have a contraction, which then causes this loop to happen, so you keep on having more and more contractions until the baby is pushed out. So what would happen if our body temperatures rose well above 37 degrees C? So 37 degrees C is our optimal body temperature, which is when the enzymes will work really well. So above 37 degrees C, our automatic mechanisms will work to reduce the body's temperature through homeostasis. So let's have a recap. What are our control systems made up of? So we've got the receptors, we've got the effectors, and we've got the coordination centers. So I've got some more questions here. Which of the following are true of negative feedback in the body? So negative feedback is the responses given by muscles and glands. It aims to return internal conditions to the optimum, and it requires different parts of the nervous system.